I just love dancing to the music. Hi, hello. This is Kenya T. COVIAK, and welcome to Explorations in Herbalism. Today, we are going to talk about one of the things I love the best. I love all kinds of herbs, I love plants, but there is a particular plant, a particular tree, a particular bush that I love best, and that tree is hazel. I love hazel. Now, the thing is that with hazel, you also have nuts. I love hazelnuts. That's my jam. That's my jam. But we're not going to talk about just the nuts. We're going to talk about the wood. We're going to talk some lore. We're going to talk about charms. So get everything together that you need. Grab your food, your drink, your everything you need to have, and we're going to talk about hazel. Now, before we continue, I need to make some clarity. I need to make some things clear. That's important. And one of the things that's very important is that you understand that we're talking about hazel, not witch hazel. Again, hazel, not witch hazel. Witch hazel is a different plant. It is a different flora. It's important that you know that we're talking about this particular tree. We're talking about hazel bushes, not witch hazel. If I have a lag, it's because there's something going on in my area. I'm not sure what. Heard a lot of sirens, so sometimes that affects our feed. So hopefully that now with hazel, you will notice that not only does it come up in a bush, but I do have a lag. I'm sorry about that, y'all. But it has a beautiful nut called a filbert. But you don't just have to look at the nut in order to have a charm. Now, I will tell you a charm before the end of the episode, okay? But hazel is used, I have a lot of lag. Hazel is used in divination. If you've ever heard of something called dowsing, that is one of the things that hazel is used for. Now, I don't know if you know about dowsing. It's it's not entirely unrelated to pendulum work, because pendulum work is a form of dowsing. Now, the way that you would douse with hazel, you need two rods or two sticks, two pieces of a branch of living wood. Now, I'm not telling you to go cut somebody's hazel tree, but usually there's something falling somewhere. They should be equal length. They should be equal length. And you're going to use them together. You're going to cross them over each other. And when you are over water, because you're going to point them down, when you are over water, they should rise up. If you're over, they should rise up so hard that drive backward. Another thing about hazel, if you don't have two rods, find yourself a little branch that looks like a letter Y. Do the same thing with the two arms of the Y held by arms held by both hands and the stem facing forward. This is how you're going to douse. We're having connection issues, y'all. I do apologize. Again, you're going to walk around looking for the water. When you find it, that stem, that neck of that Y will rise up. If it's a full spring, it's going to rise up or go all the way backward. But you don't just douse with hazel for water. You can douse for other things. There's even an association in America here on dousing. So you can learn how to use your hazel rods to douse well and truly. It's always good to try to get some wisdom and some knowledge on what you're trying to do. Speaking of wisdom, hazel is about wisdom. It doesn't hurt. Now, there's some legends about hazel. And for those of you out there who practice, you know these legends. One of them has a person cooking salmon, and the salmon had eaten hazelnuts. And when they licked the broth off they got. There's another story, cooked a snake who had been eating hazelnuts. They licked at wisdom. From these stories, we know that the ancients knew that hazel brings wisdom. And the nuts, especially, I like nuts. I like nuts a lot. Um, I have a whole cabinet in there with all sorts of nuts. But there's something else I want to tell you about hazel. Hazel, the nuts are used to make a charm. You could put a few hazelnuts in a charm for protection. You could put them together in a bag for wisdom. You might even use them to help you find something that's lost, but it won't work the same way as the rods where like it would move, but you can use it to help you in your little magical bag. That's not a mojo bag. That's a magical bag. There's a difference there. One of the things I put into one of my witch boxes last month, was it last month? It was last month. I gave them a box a tiny little box filled with hazelnuts because I wanted them to have wisdom and good fortune. That's something that you can do. Now, I'm going to give you a minor spell, a little bit of thing. I told you how to make your own magical charm, your little magical bag. Now, I'm going to give you a minor spell. And this spell is one using kitchen magic. So if you have a chance to do kitchen magic, this is what you want to do. Okay? Now, you probably have heard of Rice Krispies treats. I would like to point out I am not endorsed by Kellogg or Battle Creek. Well, instead of using Rice Krispies, you can take that melted marshmallow and you can put in hazelnuts. And that's one way to get that charm working, that you can take it with you for wisdom. You can eat those. But if you want to add to it, you can use hazelnuts and then add some rose petals. That's for protection and that's for love. Let's say you're looking for a wise person you want to be with. You can take a small saucer and underneath the glass saucer, what you can do is take a blown up photo print of a nine of diamonds and place it under the plate. Encircle it with salt and burn a gold candle in order to draw a mate that's intelligent and that's somebody you would like to be with. The third card you want to use, depending on what you want, would probably be also an ace of hearts. to bring love. But for me, I would recommend a 2 of hearts so it's not too overwhelming. Put that underneath those copies under that plate. Then what you're going to do, you're going to ingest that marshmallow treat. If you are with the person that you should desire to share this with, because they are the apple of your eye. And by the way, you can put dried apple in this treat, which will also bring love and understanding and fruitfulness. With consent, you two can share this treat off of this plate. I do not recommend cutting the treat, as you don't want to cut the affection. You would break it in half. And if you two are of the same mind and wish to enhance your feelings for each other, because remember, we always do everything with consent, you can break it together, each one of you enjoying the half. So remember, make it as if you were making a Rice Krispie treat, but not. The reason those card blow up copies are underneath is because those lend energy to what you're trying to do. This is a nice treat for both of you to enjoy. It's a simple spell, it's a gentle spell. Of course, you're going to enchant these items because, again, what does magic need to work? 3 things: knowledge, power, and intent. So you know why you're doing it, you put in your emotion into it, and you have your intent. You know how you're doing it. That's why you're doing it. Once the candle burns down, you're going to clear away the setting and either bury it on your property, put it, or put it in the woods somewhere where it can blossom and grow. As far as the salt, as far as the cards, you can fold them up and keep them, put them in a photo book, or once it's over, you can fold them towards you and burn them, and that'll be fine too. But it's the treat, it's the energy and the love that you put into what you made that is really going to make this charm, simple, gentle spell, something you two can both enjoy and you two can share. And nobody's controlling anyone, nobody's trying to do a caging spell or hurt anybody. And you're making sure with that hazel that you're putting wisdom in there. Those hazelnuts, that puts wisdom and some protection in there. And if I may go so far, adding the apple that's dry as well as the rose petals gives you just enough of that little bit of extra. Now, if you want to go old school, you can put a dash of vanilla, but not too much. It's not that kind of spell. I hope you'll do this. I hope you'll try it, and I hope you'll enjoy it. And thank you for bearing with me and making it to the end of this broadcast today. I know it's been a lot of interruptions. If you're in Michigan, I hope to see you at the Michigan Witches Ball. And if you're on Patreon, look for my page called Folkloric Herbalism. I really had a good time today. And next time, I think we shouldn't have as much trouble because I think that this was a special circumstances by Army Tank Command. They've got a lot of stuff going on. I look forward to seeing you here again on Explorations in Herbalism.